emerging role of CFOs in driving business strategies and growth in hybrid work culture will be presented by Mr. Hemant Kumar Ruia, CFO at DP World. Mr. Hemant Kumar is a chartered accountant, chartered financial analyst, and cost accountant with nearly 3 decades of extensive experience in business and partner driving profitable growth, driving performance management, working with stakeholders to enhance customer experience, and co-pilot of the CEO. He is currently working as a finance director, subcontinent region in DP World. Everyone, can we have a big round of applause for Mr. Hemant Kumar? Thank you. Over to you, sir.
Namaskar. Whatever I'm going to talk, I don't have a fancy PPT. And I don't believe in it because nothing communicates better amongst people and between people than plain simple communication. So whatever I'm going to talk is not rocket science. We don't need a rocket scientist to either talk or understand. But it's basics, and sometimes we are guilty of forgetting the basics. And my only job is to again highlight to us, all of us, including myself, what we are missing or what are our challenges in taking this forward as a finance profession. There's I think there's a kavita in Hindi written by R.C. Prasad Singh, which goes thus: "Ruk jana hai, mar jana hai." It is basically saying that if you stop or if you think you've achieved nirvana, you're as good as dead, because you can't achieve nirvana. Nirvana is not something which comes and goes or you achieve it. It's a journey which you need to continue to embark upon. In the same context, if you see the how we as a finance professionals have grown from just reporting to taking in additional issues of, let's say, budgeting, then compliance. What are we doing? It's a journey that we are all embarking upon, right? And what the ask from today's CFOs and from the finance committee, why only CFOs? CFOs are just placeholders. Ultimately, it's the whole team of finance that does the work. CFO possibly is just the North Star which guides the team. So what is the finance profession being tasked with today? If you see, today we have various terms that are used: co-pilots, business partnering. What are these terms? These all good sounding terms, and sometimes we use these terms without even understanding what they mean. Basically, if I don't get into very fancy terms, and I will share with you by this talk my own experience of what I have learned that these terms stand for, and how do we achieve it. So neither is it neither have I taken words from the Cambridge or the Oxford dictionary, nor have I read some books which I'm going to vomit out here. I'm going to share my personal experience of understanding and delivery. So the issue today is there's just too much happening in the world. And the finance guys who are good at reporting, budgeting, compliance, they have their fingers in all the pies. And it's becoming very, very difficult for a CEO to drive growth on his own. So when there's a struggle for the driver, what happens? You opt for a co-driver. who's the best placed person? The finance community, right? Because they have virtually all their 10 fingers, or maybe 20 now, in all the pies of the business. Whether it's a single BU business or a multi-BU business, they'll have a tenant everywhere. So he will opt for the co-pilot, which is the finance guy. Now, what is the expectation? If you're going to do pretty much the same of just reporting, compliance, budgeting, you're not going to help him, right? So what is the ask? The ask is, please help me. That is what the CEO is asking you. And how do you help him? You first, if you are helping him to drive the business, the first thing you need to do is to understand the business. And now, a lot of us will come and say, look, we are so smart cookies. Every month we close the books and we draw a fancy PPT with a waterfall chart explaining all the variances between the budget and actuals, and we explain it to death. Okay, is that what your CEO is asking you to do? Will that help growth? That's only hindsight reporting, or in a more fancy parlance, what is called descriptive reporting. You're just describing what has happened. Will it change anything just by describing, by having a PPT, by you coming onto a call with your other business leaders, with the CEO being there and you're explaining this fancy PPT, will it help to drive growth? The answer is no. Then comes what is called predictive analysis. So what is the expectation here? That basis this fancy thing that you have drawn, this waterfall chart, can you predict? So we are in July, right? End of July. So assume July month has ended. We have this fancy PPT on the 5th of August, which has all the waterfalls. Can we, basis that understanding, can we say that, look, I believe that your August will end here. Now, if you are better than budget, what do you need to continue doing to be better than budget? And if you are worse than budget, what do you need to do? That's predictive. You're predicting what's going to happen in August, basis the data that has come in up till July. Now, whether you work on a Jan to December or April to March, YTD, whatever, basis July, you are predicting what's going to happen in August. Is that still going to help drive growth? Possibly the answer is no. Because you have done half the work, half Monty you have done. You have told the BU leaders that, look guys, this is where I believe you will come or land at the end of August. But that's not going to still, there's no guarantee that if you have said you will be at X rupees on revenue or EBITDA or PAT, you will be there. There's no guarantee. So then you move into what is called prescriptive. Prescriptive says that you forecast for August. You say that to basis my analysis of the past, which is my descriptive reporting, which I am very good at, basis that, basis the environment, these are the things that you need to do to land August where you want to land August at. This is my view of August, and you need to do these things, what you can loosely call your must-win battles. That in August, starting 1st of August, you need to do these things to achieve August. Now that's also not going to help, because you have listed it out, you have come 75% of the way. You've come 75% of the way. What is your CEO asking you to do? He's wanting you to ensure growth, correct? Ensuring growth by saying that this is, भैया गूगल बता रहा है कि आपको दिल्ली से जयपुर जाना है तो ये रास्ता लीजिए. By the way, there's another road which has just opened up. You go via Agra, you'll reach Jaipur faster. Okay? Now, good, you have told the direction. You have said that you need to go at a speed of 80 kilometers so that you are able to reach in possibly 3 hours, as opposed to NH8 लोगे तो 4.5-5 घंटा लगेगा. NH48 now. Okay? But someone has to drive the perishing bus or that car. So what is expected? Ki then you sit with your BU heads, whether it's one or multiple, and ensure on a regular basis. Now regular can mean a weekly is also good, a daily is also good. It's horses for courses. That you sit with him, your BU heads, and work with him, handhold him to fulfill each of those must-wins. And if something is going wrong, course correct there and then. Help him to course correct. So if you are in the, let's say, an FMCG industry, and you have sales to 5% of your sales come from Manipur. Okay? We know the situation in Manipur, right? Now, if your sales are going there, what is your analysis of sales? What will happen? Whether you will hit that number? How will you go ahead and mitigate that? Now, obviously, if you are going to, you believe it's going to be only 3%, so you're going to be 2% short of your target from Manipur. You have to say that, look, if we run the scheme in Delhi and possibly Punjab, these two things, if we run the scheme, we'll get this additional 2%. So we'll hitting our numbers. Now this scheme, if you just say that एक BTL कर लेते हैं, because ATL will obviously take a longer time, who's going to drive it? Who's going to come up with the scheme? What are the dimensions? You have to work with the BU head to come up with the scheme, run it efficiently, look at the efficacy on a weekly basis at the distributor and at the retailer level. Is the distributor aware? Is the retailer seeing an uptick in sales? So I'm just giving an example of how we need to partner to drive this growth. Just by reporting is not going to help. And this is what I have experienced, and hence I'm sharing with you. Now in this, there are a host of things which are inbuilt into what we do on a daily basis. I'm not getting into facts like things like capital allocation. You know, you're looking at all the investment proposals that are thrown at you, and if you are a super rich company, well, you have a cutoff. Anything above that cutoff is all agreed. You have a IRR, ROI cutoff, and anything above that, it's all accepted. If you are you say I can borrow up to, possibly my covenants and my other stuff allow me to borrow up to 4x my EBITDA, and hence consequently I can borrow only another 100 crores, and you have a proposal of 200, then you have a jolly well you'll have a struggle trying to come to that 100 crore thing. But that's also important, because A, you have partnered the business, you have gone ahead and driven growth. B, whatever resources you have, be it capital, and we only talk of capital, we forget there are people like you and me, जिसे पहले humans बोलते थे, फिर human resources बोल रहे हैं, now the fancy term is human capital. So if you see, we are also capital. So it's not only about the capital in rupee terms, it's also about the resources that you throw, human resources that you throw at a project to ensure that you get the viability of that limited resources that you have. The other third piece which will help to grow your business is risk management. Now, generative AI or what is loosely called chat GPT, अपना industry का, if anyone puts it in, he will tell you all the known risks. He is in the neuter gender, because I don't know उसका what is the gender. Is it संस्कृत में 3 gender होते हैं, masculine, feminine and neuter. Okay, so no, it's reality. You have the Nipunsakling in Sanskrit. So I don't know what ChatGPT is, but it'll tell you that these are the known risks. So where does the finance community, people like you and me, come in? We need to see ahead of the curve. Now, so in example, Balasore incident हुआ, जिस समय हुआ, okay, that I don't think any model in this world can predict the Balasore accident, right? But if you have your vehicle, more importantly, let's say you are sending your things on a train or on a goods train, and it's passing through that corridor, what will you do proactively? You'll stop that parcel going, or you'll try to stop. It may be possible, it may not be possible. So we need to see ahead of the curve, because the rest generative AI will do. And I'm not here trying to tell you all what is doomsday. I think there's just enough doom and gloom in the world. I think we can smile and be a little happy about it. But the fact is that generative AI, the way it is evolving, in a few years, by and large, the reporting aspect of our jobs that we have been doing, the financial reporting, will be taken over by generative AI and its versions, because today ChatGPT is 3.5, and tomorrow when another layer is added. So if I'm not going to go into too much technical, but if you add a generative AI layer on your database, you can talk and get a lot of things done. Okay, so risk management, looking ahead of the curve, that will also help the business, and it will help. Ultimately, what is your goal? Grow the business by being a business partner. So you need to predict and prescribe. So again, risk management, if you're looking ahead of the curve, will help you achieve that. To help you sit and have proper chats with your BU heads, you need to go ahead and get your KPIs in place, your key performance indicators. So if you are in the transport business, I don't know, starting from fuel per kilometer run, fuel consumption per kilometer run, to there could be 15 other KPIs that you want, the critical ones. You need to start monitoring. Now, if you want to monitor it live, real time, you're going to have a BU head meeting every day or a weekly, depending on what works for you. Your databases must be live. So tech becomes a very important player in the game. So this, and who's going to drive this tech? It's your need, right? If it's your and my need, the crying baby gets the milk. It's a known story. So if we need to get that done, we need to ensure that we go ahead and get that work done. So tech, again, driving tech will help us. And the last but not the least, I'm not a big fan of cost cutting. Okay, that's absolutely should be the last piece. What I'm a big fan of cost management. And cost management is nothing but continuous cost management. Okay, it's not a, acha, ye drive hai, it's, today I'm, agle 2 mahine I'm going to have a cost cutting exercise done. It's a cost management, it must be ingrained in the blood. And we, again, this is supposed to, because you have your fingers in each of the pies, you will drive this to death on a continuous basis, because that ultimately will drive profitable growth. So just to recap, we are here to be prescriptive, to sit and analyze with the BU heads, handhold them to achieve the targets, because in their success, mind you, lies our success. We cannot say aapne budget to nahi kiya the BUs, but by the way I have done a fantastic job. Doesn't work that way. And the things like risk management, cost management, tech, these are all enablers to that exercise that you want to do. Yeah, Zoya, are we good with the time? Okay, thank you guys. That's all I had for you. Thank you.
Thank you so much, sir, for your time and sharing your best expertise. Everyone, can we have a big round of applause for Mr. Kumar? All right, now I would like to call upon stage Ms. Hem Lata, Head Sales of Iris Business Service Private Limited, to please be on the stage and felicitate Mr. Hemant Kumar Ruia.